I will never, and I mean never, forget the time that we had a male sub in high school and a girl asked to go to the restroom and he said sure. So she grabbed something and he heard a rapper and he was like, oh, if you're gonna eat candy, you can do it in here, but you have to share with everyone in the class. And she was like, what? And he was like, well, I heard the rapper. And she whips out a tampon, shoves it in his face, and she goes, you want to share? Oh, girl, savage.
So this one time before I got fired from Best Buy, this lady came in and she was like, hey. And I was like, hey. And she's like, do you guys sell iPad Pros? And I was like, yes, of course, this is Best Buy. And she's like, well, do they come in pink? And I was like, no, I don't think they come in pink. And she was like, well, do you guys have cases for them in pink? And I was like, if you look directly next to you, there's an entire fucking aisle. And I could see a pink one right there. And she's like, well, do you think that the iPad Pro would be a good fit for my daughter? And then she points to a newborn baby in her cart, like a newborn baby in her cart. And in my head, I was like, why on earth would you buy $1,000 device for an infant who can't even use it? And I saw my manager look at me and was supposed to sell. So I was like, yeah, it'd be a great fit. And so I sold this lady an iPad Pro for her infant daughter, and she seemed happy, but the dad looked very disappointed.
These two men are the worst assassins on Earth. These two assassins were hired during World War II to eliminate a German leader. The plan was pretty simple. Set up a machine gun on the country road where the German often drove and open fire when he drives by. Only an hour after setting up, they spotted the German leader's car approaching. They tried opening fire, but the machine gun was clogged as one of the assassins has used it as a container to collect plants to feed his pet rabbits. The German now noticed the assassins, but instead of driving away, he drove towards them. They were now face to face with the German, who pulled out his pistol to open fire at the assassins. But his pistol was empty. So one of the assassins took the opportunity and threw a grenade at the German. But he didn't throw the grenade far enough and ended up injuring himself instead. The injured assassin now escaped on his bike. Now the unarmed German went after the second assassin, who was still trying to fix the clogged machine gun. Seeing this, the second assassin now runs away from the unarmed German despite having a fully loaded pistol.
Y'all, so I was Snapchatting this guy and he asked me if I liked sushi and if I liked it raw or cooked. So I respond back a couple days later saying I like it raw. Well, we're talking for a bit today and he invites me over, asks me to watch movies and eat it raw. And I said, okay, that sounds great. And my innocent self goes over with a heart-shaped box of sushi. And I go over and I say, hey, look what I got you. And he's like, ew, raw sushi. Yo, I saw it in his eyes at that moment. He was talking about me.
One time when I was in 8th grade, I got a hickey on my neck because I had daddy issues, and my teacher noticed and sent me to the principal's office. And the principal was like, I'm calling your mom. And I was like, I burned my neck with a curling iron on accident. And she was like, no, you didn't. So on the bus ride home, luckily my best friend and I shared the same bus stop. And I asked her if I could go to her house really quick to burn my neck with her curling iron. And she said yes. So when I walked into the house, my mom was literally ready to beat my ass. And I was like, Mom, look, it's just a curling iron burn. And she was like, wait, yeah, that's clearly just a curling iron burn. And she got so mad and she called the principal and she demanded that she apologize to me. And the principal had to apologize to me. And to this day, my mom still doesn't know.
I just went to go get gas, and this man behind me, this man's probably like 50. He looks at my outfit and goes, your outfit matches very nicely. I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. Then he goes, I really like your shoes. I was like, oh, thanks. He goes, what size of shoe do you wear? I was like, 8.5. I'm at the register. I say 15 on pump 3. The man behind me speaks up, says, oh, I'll pay for her gas. I was like, oh, no, sir, you don't have to do that. He's like, no, I insist. I go outside to go pump my gas. The guy comes back and asks me if he could have a picture of my foot. Why would someone want a picture of my foot? I start laughing. This guy's not laughing. Dude, he was serious. Oh no, sir. He's like, how much do you charge? How much do I charge for a picture of my foot? I don't really know my rates yet. So he goes, how about 20? I'm like, what? Like, no, I would not do that. I don't know if that's illegal, but I just sold a picture of my foot for $80.
My manager drank toilet water, story time. I used to work at this food place, and the manager there was a total B-word. Like, she had no sympathy for the employees at all. Like this one time, she fired somebody because they didn't show up to work because they got into a car accident. How do you expect them to come to work? Anywho, I'm never doing this eye look again because it's ugly, but the green dots are kind of cute. So this one day, my friend comes into work late, and the manager gets mad at her, like super mad. So she told my friend to go home, don't come back. So my friend, being the petty queen that she is, tells her, okay, but I'm just gonna grab my food out the break room. And my manager's like, whatever, just make it quick, okay? So my friend goes into the break room, goes into the manager's refrigerator, and grabs the manager's hydro flask. Takes it into the bathroom, dumps all the water out, and refills it with toilet water. And then she leaves. And on my lunch break, I saw my manager drinking out of the hydro flask, and I didn't say anything because I don't like her either. It's what she deserves.
My daughter Savannah is the CEO of faking illness to get out of school. So when she does not feel like being there, she will go to the nurse's office and complain to them that she is really not feeling good so that they call me and I have to go get her. Well, one day after this happens, I walk into the administrative office and everybody is really concerned because Savannah is sitting in a chair like so dramatically like, hi, Mom. And like when I saw her, I burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And everybody looked at me like I was some really bad mom. Like, oh my God, why aren't you more concerned? But as we were walking out, she was walking really slow and actually didn't look good. So even I was a little concerned. I was like, oh my God, honey, are you okay? Until we got to the car when Savannah looks at me and goes, you know what, Mom? I feel better now. And I was like, Savannah, are you serious? And she's like, Mom, do you maybe want to go to Starbucks and have like a girls' day? And I was like, honey, what kind of question is that? You know I do.
When I was like 5 years old, I almost got kidnapped. Story time. So back in the day, it used to be safe for kids to play out on the street. Or so I thought. You know when you're a little kid, you really don't listen to your parents? Well, anyways, what happened was that my mom was cooking. And I was like, Mommy, please, 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 let me play outside with my new scooter. My mom was always very protective, so she would not let us out of her sight. She's like, I'm going to go outside for 2 minutes with you, and then we're going to come right back inside. I was like, yay! So I'm just over here playing outside. And my mom was like, se me queman las tortillas, se me queman las tortillas. For those who don't know, that means she was burning tortillas. She's like, sit on the steps here in the driveway. You know me being a dumb little child. I was like, let me see how fast I can go. Whee! Here I go with my scooter. I'm still in the driveway. This man and this woman are walking across the street. Then that creepy man was like, hey, come here. That woman was like, I just want to see your scooter. I dropped that scooter and I said, skirt. They started running after me up my driveway.
If you ever find yourself in this situation, don't do what she did. In 2006, a group of cave divers decided they wanted to film a documentary in one of the most dangerous caves in the world. But only a few hours into their descent, and a freak storm erupts on land, collapsing the entrance to the cave. In order to avoid the huge falling rocks that were coming off the ceiling, they were forced to swim through one of the uncharted sections of the cave. After they've been diving for over an hour, they luckily come across this island in the middle of a tunnel, where they set up camp and wait to be rescued. After 48 hours and no sign of a rescue, the cameraman actually starts filming in case they don't make it out of there. At the same time, one of their crew members does something very stupid.
Story time. This morning I went to PDI in Chile, which is like the FBI in the United States, in order to get my visa finalized. And I'm sitting there, and my sister texts me. She goes, what's up? And I'm just like, I don't want to give a normal response. So I respond, Kayla, I'm getting deported. I waited too long to get my visa and I'm getting deported. And my sister's like, what the frick is going on? I told her that I was in a cell with screaming people. I even called her as I was walking past a playground full of screaming children so that she would believe it more. She took the cake, all of it. I told her that I owed the Chilean government $40,000 and that they had me locked up in a jail cell. She starts crying and she's just like, Hope, I know this is tough and I know this may seem like you're never gonna get out of this, but it's okay and I love you so much. And she's crying. She tells my other sister. So now both of my sisters think that I'm like in a cell, like getting deported and owe the government $40,000. I said, I don't know what anybody's saying. I don't understand the Spanish they're speaking. They took my shoes. They believed it all. And then I ended it with got him.
Yo, I need to process this. So I was in the grocery store, minding my own business as one should, and I kept getting stares, which I understand why, because look at all this. No, I'm kidding. It's apparently because my jean shorts are too short. It may be uncomfortable. But alas, I'm a strong gal, I just keep a strolling. And I noticed that there's this older man who keeps walking behind me. And I'm thinking, what's good, Bubba? Well, he approaches me and he says this. Yes, this is true. Buckle up. Ma'am, you're not wearing a whole lot of clothing. You're gonna make men stumble. And I said, sir, are you saying you're falling head over heels in love with me? He didn't think that was funny. He said, when girls like you wear clothing like that, it's very difficult for boys and men like me to control my thoughts and actions. I said, sir, if you and others can't control your thoughts and actions, you shouldn't be leaving the house because you're a predator.